everyone, and welcome to Lion Around Connecticut with Carol and Harry. I am Carol Kearns. My husband, Harry Shue, is our co-host. Our mission for the show is twofold: to provide information about Connecticut Lions events and to showcase the many different organizations and causes that Lions support locally, regionally, and internationally. Harry?
Good evening and welcome. Please consult our website at www.lions23b.org or your district spirit for more information on coming events.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lion Around Connecticut with Carol and Harry.
We're here at St. Clement's Castle in Portland, and this is the humanitarian dinner for District 23C. This is where they honor outstanding members of their community who are not Lions, with the hopes that they will become Lions. So on with the show.
Look who we have here, Mary Crow. Tell us about this wonderful event.
Oh, I am so thrilled the two of you are here. It's our 10th annual humanitarian banquet. We are honoring 13 non-Lions.
That's wonderful.
And our keynote speaker is also a humanitarian. He is fantastic. I am so thrilled that we got him.
That's fabulous.
And we're doing a special veteran ceremony. And it's going to be a fantastic afternoon. And the snow is holding off.
Oh, thank goodness. Well, as I always say, on with the show.
Absolutely.
En avant. Thanks, Mary.
Thank you.
Hi, and here we are with our sitting international director, well, he's standing right now, Mark Lyon.
Great to see you, Harry.
Good to see
Yeah,
you.
thanks for calling me over.
Oh, great. Yeah, you're in your second year.
We are. We're about 3/4 of the way done with our term as international director.
I bet it went fast.
It goes by ridiculously fast, but we've stayed very busy. We've done a lot of traveling,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of responsibilities with the board, and have enjoyed every minute.
Now, which committees are you sitting on this year?
Right now, I'm only on Constitution and Bylaws, and I'm chairperson of that committee.
Okay.
But I'm also serving on the LCI Forward Committee, which is tasked with creating the new strategic plan for our association for the next 5 years.
Wow. So what are we looking at? Have you got any insights for us?
You know, we had a really good plan that we're finishing up this year, and I think we'll continue with some of the initiatives that were started and try to enhance some of the others. We're looking at some stronger relationships between the LCI and LCIF organization.
Okay.
We're also looking at some of the LEO programs to making sure that that Leo to Lion connection remains strong.
Very good. Now, how about NAMI? You know, how is that? That's a huge part of what we're doing here.
Yeah,
in North America.
the North American Membership Initiative is working well. The pilot programs that have been in place for about a year now are now being rolled out more on a national basis. I think it's important that the successes that they've discovered in each of those areas are now going to be able to be used around the country.
And here we are, District C's humanitarian dinner. I understand you are the keynote speaker. Is that what I heard?
We'll be doing a little talking today. This is a fantastic event, not just for 23C, but for all the communities that are in this part of the state. It's been a great event for many, many years, and we're just very pleased to be here to honor some well-deserving recipients of recognitions.
And you always do an outstanding job speaking, I must say.
Thank you, Harry.
All right. Well, thanks,
All right.
thanks for
Thank you so
appearing on
much.
our show.
Enjoy the afternoon.
You too.
This afternoon, we have a fantastic keynote speaker who's
Say that.
also a humanitarian.
Wonderful.
And I would like to introduce you to Bill Berloni. Now,
Hi, Bill.
Nice to meet you.
Wonderful to meet you. That's my husband, Harry Shue, and I'm Carol Kearns, and our show is called Lion Around Connecticut with Carol and Harry. So here we are, and you're being featured now. Tell me about yourself.
I'm a theatrical animal trainer. I train animals for the entertainment industry.
Oh, is that?
But what makes it interesting is that all the animals I train are rescue animals. So I started my career with the original production of Annie on Broadway. I've done 27 Broadway shows, movies, films, TV, all sorts of stuff, all with rescue animals.
That is fabulous. What do you think?
he's fantastic.
I'm sure he is.
And we're going to see one of his rescues in a little while.
You're going
Yes, we
to
are.
feature at one of your rescue dogs.
Yes. Yep. We have a surprise guest, a four-legged surprise guest, who's also a star in her own right.
Well, doesn't Mary have some goats who appear on Broadway?
Thanks to Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
When I need farm animals, I always call Mary and Ted, and they give me such wonderfully trained animals. And but I leave those things to the experts. I usually work with dogs and cats.
Dogs and cats. How are the cats? Do they behave?
Do you see the gray hairs?
From the kitties.
From the kitties.
Cat.
Yes.
I believe it. Do you have a cat of your own?
3.
Okay, that's wonderful. So what are you going to talk about today?
I think I'm going to talk about, how it's so wonderful that the Lions are recognizing the unsung heroes in our community. And I'm someone who also champions helping others accept their four-legged creatures.
How wonderful. Mary, I'm so glad you invited him to be our keynote.
Absolutely. Wait till you hear him. And you know, I think it's time to have last call so we can start this program.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice meeting
to meet you.
Bye-bye.
Good afternoon and welcome to our 10th annual humanitarian banquet, where we honor non-Lions for their community service. This is our way of expressing our appreciation to these individuals that do so much for their communities. They certainly do make a difference in their communities, and they exhibit the Lions motto, "We serve." Let's begin our program. The national anthem will be sung by Grace Michalowski, a senior at East Hampton High. Please rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Regent Chair Terry Schlasher from the Portland Lions will lead us in the pledge. Thank you, P.D. Mary. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Regent Chair Michelle Wyatt from the Colchester Lions will lead us in the Lions toast.
With your water glasses, please. Not above you, not beneath you, but with you.
Regent Chair Bill Martin from the Salem Club will give us the invocation.
Lord, listen to our hearts. Guide us in the things we do and say today. Let love and understanding be the foundation of our dedication and the binding cords between us. Enable us to serve those who call upon us and to give of ourselves to those in need. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. Lions are in 206 countries worldwide. Every year, Lions International elects one person as their international president. There are 34 Lions from all over the world that volunteer to serve 2 years on the international board. They are called international directors. This afternoon, we are honored to have one of these 34 directors with us. International Director Mark Lyon and his wife, Lyon Lynn. Please stand. Connecticut is divided into 3 districts, and each district is governed by a district governor. It is the governor's responsibility to be the liaison between Lions International and our local clubs. Our district governor this year is Lion Diana Grisset. May I introduce Lion Diana and her husband, Lion Don. The Rotary has a similar structure, and we are honored to have District Governor Jack Solomon from the Rotary with us. Please stand. Once a person serves as district governor, they play a vital part in the leadership roles of their district. Will past district governors Julie Shalotsky and Diane Bilski please stand to be recognized? Will all other cabinet members of Lions District 23C please stand to be acknowledged? For the past 5 years, the Savings Institute, now Berkshire Bank, has been a sponsor of this event, a very generous sponsor, I might add. We have 2 representatives from the bank with us. Will Robert Kopersky and Lauren Brady please stand to be honored? This year, we have another sponsor, Shipman Fire Equipment. Will Chrissy and Bob LaPlante please stand? It's really nice to see some of our proper humanitarians in the audience. Please stand to be acknowledged. Will all our veterans please stand? Every veteran in the room, please stand. Veterans, please remain standing. All of the veterans, please stand.
Thank you. Thank you.
All the things are gone, word from my pride, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. And I proudly stand up next to you. defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota, from the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and from New York to LA. There's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I am proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. And I proudly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. And I proudly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Thank you, veterans, for your service. And let's give a round of applause to the girls of Junior Troop 6203 who made the badge for the veterans. Thank you. This afternoon, we are honoring humanitarians. Our keynote speaker is also a humanitarian and has been since he was 19 years old. He rescues, he brings home his rescues, and they live with him and his wife Dorothy and daughter Jenna. He gives them a great life and he trains them to be successful. People say he brings his rescues from WAG to riches. Some of his rescues have been in kill shelters. He takes them home, he trains, and they become Broadway stars, many of which you know. I'm certain you have seen them, his stars. In 2011, he received a Tony Award for his animal training on Broadway. In 2017, he received the Drama League's Unique Contribution to Theater Award. He is an animal behaviorist for the New York Humane Society, an author, and definitely a humanitarian for all his animals. Please stand and welcome Bill Berloni.
Hello, hello. Okay, everybody can sit down now. If you don't sit down, you can't see the cute dog that's sitting here in the day. So this is Macy. Oh, we're going to bring her forward a little bit. You get that side of the room this year. Here you go. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bill Berloni, and I'm so honored to be here today in a room filled with people who do stuff for other people. That's just, I mean, not only do we have humanitarians, but the Lions Club, in and above itself, all you members are always taking care of our fellow man. And so I have that sort of mission, except not only do I help out people, but I help out our four-legged creatures. I'm a theatrical animal trainer, which means I train animals for the entertainment business. And I'm also an animal rights advocate who helps out with rescues. So how does one, I mean, we don't grow up saying, hey, let's be a humanitarian. How do you get there? How do you fall into a life of caring for others? Well, I want to share my story because I'm sure it's very much like everybody else's in this room. I was born in Berlin, Connecticut. My mother was German. My father was Italian. They immigrated here. They worked in the factories. And when I was born, apparently my mom had some complications with my birth. But, you know, the Italians, they wanted a big family. So when I was 2 years old, apparently she asked me if I wanted a brother or a sister, and I said a dog. At which point, she ran out and got me a collie. Now, my dad was the horticulturist for the city of New Britain. So we lived up in Hungerford Park, which is a beautiful park up in New Britain that has greenhouses in it. So my childhood was quite wonderful because I played with my dogs. I also had a rabbit, I had a cat, but I didn't have any brothers or sisters. So I didn't really hang out with a lot of kids until I got to kindergarten. So of course, I was one of those shy kids all my life. And you know, when you have a last name like Berloni, it's easy to be called Baloney. So going to school, I'm like, there's Billy Baloney. So I just chose to stay by myself, be a quiet kid, and then ran home to be with my animals. Fast forward to high school. Now I'm short, pimply, have a funny name. I just want to get through high school without any problems. So as a joke, in our 9th grade, they were nominating class officers, and someone, as a joke, nominated Billy Baloney for president. So, of course, I was mortified, didn't run, and won. So, you know, I couldn't believe it. And this is where the role of educators help change the lives of our children. Do we have any teachers in this room? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Yes, let's applaud for those wonderful people who literally are doing the service for our community. Well, we had a class advisor named Mrs. Dupna, and I was terrified. I didn't want any attention. I didn't want to be up on stage. And so the first, class meeting we had, I got up there, I was shaking, and I was trying to read the notes, and they were throwing spitballs at me. It was just one of those experiences that you just want to forget. And I said to Mrs. Dupna, our advisor, I said, I can't do this. And she was like, Billy, don't care what other people say about you. Just do your best. Just try your best. So the next class meeting, got up there, started reading. Same thing happened, chaos, and I got so angry. I just yelled, shut up! And the whole room got quiet. It was at that point that I realized when you're on this side of the microphone, nobody talks to you, right? You don't have to have a conversation because you're doing all the talking, and people listen. So I thought that was a pretty good place to be for a shy kid. Well, not only did I was I class president, but one day I was going by the auditorium and the drama club was meeting. Now, I wasn't athletic, wasn't smart, but the drama club had 13 girls and 1 gay kid, so I thought my chance of getting a date in that club, I'm joining that club. So now I'm like acting. Let me tell you about acting, if you're shy. When you're in a play, you're saying lines that other people have written, and they're usually funny, they're usually intelligent, right? So you sound and you become somebody else who is usually better than you are. So I decided I wanted to become an actor, much to my parents' dismay. First generation American, you're going to Central Connecticut State College, you're going to become a teacher. Ma, really, I want to become an actor. Well, fortunately my parents supported me in that decision, even though they didn't think it was a smart one. But instead of spending my summers having fun, I decided I wanted to learn everything I could about professional theater. So fast forward to the Goodspeed Opera House, which is right here down the river in East Haddam. And they had summer programs where they invite kids to be apprentices. Sit down, Ruth. And you've heard this story. You're looking at the roast beef over there, right? So I applied and became an apprentice at the Goodspeed Opera House. So the summer after high school and my first summer after college, I was down there building scenery. It was professional actors. And the Goodspeed is dedicated to the American musical theater. They do revivals, and they usually introduce one new musical every year. So in the summer of 1976, they decided to do a musical about Little Orphan Annie. So after they announced it and everything, they read the script and it was like, oh yeah, there's a dog in it. So the producer at that time called New York trainers, and they were way too expensive. And so he went to everybody on the paid staff, and they all threatened to quit. So he needed a sucker. I remember being called into the producer's office. Billy, sit down, have a chair. I thought I was going to be fired. I didn't know why I was there. And he said, how would you like a part in one of our shows and your equity card? Now, I'm 19 years old. I have the chance to be in a professional show as an actor. I'm thinking, he's recognized my acting ability, by the way. I've been moving scenery for the last few years. It's amazing. I said, yes, Mr. Price, I love that. He said, all you have to do is find and train a dog for the new show for no money. Okay, sure, whatever. And I remember leaving his office and calling my parents and telling them all about that. And about 3 days later, I realized what I had agreed to: finding and training a dog. And he gave me $35, this is the summer of '76, to find the dog, buy it, and feed it all summer. Now, someone said they had cheap dogs at the animal shelter. Okay. So one day I decided to go shopping for dogs. And, when my collie died, of course, we went to the pet shop and we bought a beagle. We named him Snoopy. So I had never been to an animal shelter. So one Monday afternoon, I decided to take one of the trucks and I'm going to go casting for Sandy, the role that's in the play.
Hello again, everyone. Isn't this a wonderful humanitarian dinner, Harry?
It sure is, and congratulations to District 23C on their 10th annual Humanitarian Awards dinner. And come back next week for more of animal trainer and humanitarian Bill Berloni. He is fabulous, isn't he, Carol?
Oh, yes, he is.
Well, that'll do it for this episode of Lying Around Connecticut with Carol and Harry. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed our show this evening. Tune in next week for another Lying Around Connecticut with Carol and Harry. Good night.
Bye-bye.